Let me tell you a story. When I was younger, I was like you. I dreamed of having this life of freedom. I dreamed of getting the money, having the freedom, having the lifestyle, getting the jacked physique, being able to do what I want, whenever I want, go on dates with hot girls, all of these things you guys are fucking chasing. And then I was able to get to that point in my life and I attained every single goal I set out to achieve. I remember I was in Mexico, walking along the beach, the sun is beaming on me, I feel the wind, I see the palm trees swaying. I'm looking at my Stripe account, that month to date was $40,000. I was averaging maybe $50,000, $40,000 months at the time. I was even hosting masterminds, leading the brothers at brotherhood.co. I was jacked, 100 kg, 10% body fat. I had good habits. I was disciplined. I was waking up at 5 a.m., hitting the gym, meditating. But deep down inside, there was something missing. And I thought, you know what, the more I do, the better off I'm going to be. So I would work on all these areas of my life. Okay, let me make more money. Let me get my habits more dialed in. Let me do this. Let me do this. Let me do. But it's not about doing, my brother. It's about being. Because you can keep doing and doing and doing, but if you've built that foundation of doing from a foundation of weakness, from a foundation of insecurity, from a foundation of not being enough, then you're just adding on to that foundation, my brother. As within, so without. The world is going to show you who you are. This world is just a mirror to your soul. So if you're looking externally and you start going to the gym because you don't feel enough, that same guy is going to be looking back at you in the mirror when you're 100 kg and 10% body fat. That same guy is going to be looking back at you when you see the million in your bank account. That same guy is going to be looking at you when you have the Rolex on your wrist. Because you didn't change yourself, you just changed your life. And one of my quotes is, money will change your life, but it won't change you. So you're probably sitting there right now going, John, okay, cool. So if it's not about doing, and if it's not about going after these external goals, then what's it about? Well, my brothers, it's one thing and one thing only. Seeking first the kingdom of heaven and God, and then all of these things will be added unto you. This is when my life began to transform. Because what I was doing was building my foundation on a weak self-image. Let me make more money. Let me get more jacked. Let me do this. Let me do that. But like I said, it was all on a weak foundation. So what was mirrored back to me was that same little boy, because that's what I was, with more money, with more success, with more freedom. But in my soul, I felt empty and lost. When I started to seek God in my life, that's when everything started to change. Some Bible verses that came into my life at this point was, for what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world but lose his soul? And that's exactly what I was doing. Yeah, I was making money. Yeah, I was getting jacked. Yeah, I was traveling the world. Yeah, I was doing all of these things, but it was all from this place of I'm not enough. I'm not good enough, right? I'm going to show them. I'm going to prove to them. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. It was all from a place of sadness and emptiness. Another Bible verse that I read that changed my life was, disregard his height and appearances, for I have rejected him. God does not care about how you look or what you have attained. He cares about your heart posture. And let's just keep it real, my brothers. All of these brothers in the men's self-development space, the self-improvement space, they are not men of God. They go against God's word. In the Bible, it speaks about not having sexual immorality. Okay? It talks about not having sex before marriage, not operating from lust. But when you look at these guys in the space, what do they all seem to be talking about? Lust, disrespecting women, disrespecting their name. My brother, you're not just disrespecting that woman, you're disrespecting God's daughter. You think you're above God. You think you can get away with disrespecting God's daughter and speaking bad on her name. My brother, you are in for a big shock. The other things they talk about, building your physique and getting jacked, all right? Well, again, God does not care about your appearance. He doesn't care about how you look or appear to be. He cares about your heart. The other thing these guys talk about, chasing money. My brother, you're chasing bits of paper. Bits of paper. This is the real matrix. So when you understand that when you start to truly seek God, you're going to realize this. Everything you're chasing is for one reason and one reason only. It's to feel love. No, it's not, John. Love is for girls. Love is for weak men. Okay, my brother. So when you're born, right, what is your default state of being? It's love. And if you believe in God, you understand that God is love and love is God, and God already loves you. He already sees you perfect in his image, in your image. So why would you insinuate that you don't love yourself? We're not talking here about feelings and emotions. We're talking about a state of being and a choice. I love myself, therefore I respect myself. I love myself, therefore I do these actions. I love myself, therefore I operate as my highest self. Or you have the other option, which is you don't love yourself. Now think about your son, for example, because all of you brothers want to have a son, right? Imagine you didn't love your son. Can you imagine that? No, because you would love him unconditionally, right? How would you treat your son? You would treat him with respect. You would treat him with discipline. You would treat him with a tough love if he was not being his true self. But you wouldn't constantly tell him he's weak and he's not good enough and he's not deserving and he's not worthy, which is where most brothers are building their life on. They're building it from weak foundations. When you seek God and you realize that God already loves you, you're already good enough, you're already whole, you're already deserving, my brother, then you operate from this higher elevated state of being, this higher self. And from that higher self, my bro, you don't need to go and chase money. You don't need to go and find girls for validation to fill your fucking ego and little weird voids you got within. You don't need to go and get jacked so other people can see you and perceive you as being bigger than you are. My brother, you want these things, but you don't go and do it to attain something. You are being and becoming, not trying to attain and acquire. They are two very different things. When you're being confident, when you're being love, when you're being this higher version of yourself, which again, love is just being that. When you love yourself, you're gonna be that version of yourself. You go to the gym because you love yourself. And you go to the gym to take care of your health. You go to the gym because you enjoy it. And the byproduct is your physique. The byproduct is how you look. But you don't care about that. You are detached from it. The same as with your bank account. When I understood this principle, I started to make the most money I ever made in business and had my biggest month ever. How? Because I stopped chasing money to validate me as a man. And I realized money was simply mirroring back to me how I felt about myself. And I was trying to chase money to give me this feeling of respect, of power, of significance. But I quickly realized a bit of paper can never do that for me. And for me to think that it can, I'm deluded. When I realized that God already loves me, and from that love, I respect myself and I do the actions in alignment with God, with my higher self, with my conscience, which is guiding me every single day. You know what I'm talking about, my brothers? The inner voice that's speaking to you. That is God. I and the Father are one. Okay, he's talking about you are oneness with God. God is not outside of you. The kingdom of heaven is within you. So when you step into that frequency and you know that you are being guided by God from within, you will start to step differently than you currently are. So, my brothers, when it comes to self-development, right? Stop viewing it from this place of I'm not enough and I need to become better. View it from a place of I'm already a G, a man of God. I'm already winning. I'm already perfect in God's image of me. And I'm going to become even better from that paradigm. I'm going to step into being an even better version of myself for God. I'm going to obey God because there's a very big difference between believing in God and obeying God. The other day, I get a message from some brother wanting to work with me in my coaching business. And I spoke to him. I said, how much are you making per month? He does about 100,000 a month. And turns out he's running an OnlyFans marketing agency. And I said, my brother, do you believe in God? He said, yes. No, you don't, my brother. Because if you believed in God, you would fear God. And if you feared God, you would understand the consequences of those actions and you would feel his conviction coming down on you. Like we said before, for what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world but lose his soul? When you truly step into obeying God, you read scripture, you understand his word, and you start to obey that You're going to start to understand where all of this conviction in your life is coming from. Now, understand, regrets are your guidelines. When you feel pain after doing something, it's God trying to convict you to do the right thing. Let me ask you, my brother, when you go and hit the gym, right, and you crush a workout, you go and eat clean after that, right? You hit your daily habits, you study, you work out, you do the deep work, you do the meditation, you make some money, right? Do you ever say, oh, I shouldn't have done that today? No, because you know it's in alignment, bro. But when you do the things you know you shouldn't be doing, like running a fucking OnlyFans marketing agency, disgusting, bro, impacting and hurting millions of lives. When you do things like that, when you eat junk food, when you skip the gym, when you snooze your alarm, when you treat a woman badly, when you hate on yourself, you get conviction from above, and God is telling you, my brother, stop doing that, because he's bringing you closer to him. Do you understand? Understand there's a core difference between conviction and condemnation. Conviction is, hey, brother, you can do better than that. Let's change, right? Let's stop doing that. Condemnation is when you sit in the shame, you sit in the guilt, you sit in the anger and the sadness, and it cripples you. That's why you procrastinate. That's why you're not elevating at your higher self, because of how you see yourself, what you believe to be true about yourself. It's your inner world, my brother. And your inner world can only be built up by connecting to God and connecting with your higher self. Like we've established on this video today, nothing external can validate you as a man. Nothing external can ever help you become a better version of yourself. It's an illusion in your mind. Bits of paper and how you perceive to be looked will never change you as a man. What will change you is the character development on that journey, yes, only if it's done with the right intention. If your intention, like we've discussed before, is to make money to show off on Instagram, you never feel that power you're looking for, that love that you're looking for, that respect that you're looking for. If you're only trying to get jacked so you can get girls or you can look bigger, you're never going to get that respect or that power you're truly looking for, my brother. All right? You've got to understand that the only place you're going to get this from is a deep, powerful, spiritual, intimate relationship with God. And the more you get to know God through meditation, through praying, through visualizing, the more you're going to get to know yourself. And the more you get to know yourself and your authentic, true self, the more you can step into that. And then you don't need to develop yourself. You are already enough. You are already deserving of the things you're asking for. And then you're naturally going to do the things that align with that higher self. Let me ask you, my brother, don't you actually enjoy working out? Don't you enjoy growing your business and making money? Don't you enjoy meditating and getting closer to God and praying? Don't you enjoy studying and developing your mindset? Don't you enjoy waking up early in the morning? Don't you enjoy eating clean? You're going to answer yes to every single one of them. So why is it a force, my bro? Why do you feel like you're pushing? Why do you feel like you're grinding? Because deep down inside, you don't think you're good enough. You don't think you're worthy enough. You don't think you deserve the success and the things you're asking for. So no matter what you attain, you still have those feelings within you. The only way this can be resolved is a deep, intimate relationship with God. Do you understand me, my brother? He already loves you. When you came into this world, you didn't have these beliefs and these limitations that you can't do these things and you're not worthy of these things and you're not allowed to have these things. You come into this world with zero limiting beliefs. You feel like a fucking king. You come into the world, you're like, I can do anything I set my mind to. And then you learn that you can't. That's the beliefs you're holding on to. You have to remove these beliefs. You have to take them away from yourself. Stop adding and thinking you need to do more. Step into the identity of I am love and love is God and God already loves me. And from there, go and conquer. And I want to make this very fucking clear, guys. We're still going to have goals. We're still going to have visions. We're still going to go after it. I made a lot of money last month. I am jacked. I'm free. I'm living. I'm doing everything I ever wanted. And I still love myself. And I still have God at the root of that. There's two core emotions, my brothers. Fear and love. Which one are you going to operate from, my bro? Fear, which is probably the weakest thing you can operate from, or love, which is from God? Let me know in the comments. God bless, my brothers. No slacking.